What do you mean we just won? No, I'm a Panthers fan. Really? How's it going? My name is Colin Winters. I'm the host of Panthers Den, and I have life back in my soul again because the Panthers have snapped a 4-game losing streak to beat the Falcons at their home, 19-13. So yeah, this video is a little bit late. That's because it was Halloween when I watched the game. Then I went out with friends, and I had school this morning. So now finally I'm getting time to record this video. I'm gonna have to edit it after, but right now, who really cares? It's just good feels all around. We are back in the winning column, and let's hope that we can continue this going forward. Now, all eyes were on this game. If the Panthers were going to do anything this season, they needed to win this game. As of right now, the Panthers are in the playoff picture, which is quite surprising after a 4-game losing streak, but with this, we knocked off enough in our division to get to that last seed spot for the wild card. And at the moment, we're also looking pretty good because the division looks like it could be pretty competitive if we step back into it. The two bottom feeders, both the Falcons and us, have been on a tear recently. Of course, Falcons lose that tear right now. Matt Ryan has been just fantastic the past 4 games until he met us, in which he was stifled by our defense. But before we talk about what happened to the Falcons that game, we're going to happen with the Panthers, because Sam Darnold had a bounce back game. And in a way where it wasn't that he threw for like 300 yards or he threw for like 3 touchdown passes, in a way where we just saw him not making many mistakes. We saw him making smarter throws. We saw him getting connections. And the thing is, he still has the receivers that drop the most balls in the league. I want everyone to think about some of these passes he's made where they've just been dropped. Also, one drop though, he would have had a touchdown pass if the referees didn't fucking just absolute rob DJ Moore of that fantastic catch and a fantastic throw into the corner at end zone. But things happen. The score could have been a wider gap, but we still came out the victory. Who the fuck cares? But Sam's stats for passing are 13 completions out of 24 attempts and 129 yards. It's not bad because there's a big old 0 in the interceptions mark, which has been the big worry about Sam going back to his Jets ways where he's throwing at ghosts. Sam was also quite good on the ground game, having 8 runs for 66 yards. That's an 8.2 average. He almost got in for a touchdown, but that does carry the fact that on that run, he got hammered and then was declared out for the rest of the game, and he's now in concussion protocol. What that means for what is going to happen in the next few weeks, I don't know, but it could be pretty bad for the Panthers, because if they don't have Sam, who finally had his little bounce back where he played great, or at least he played well enough not to make mistakes, now we don't really have our main signal caller. And what do we do then? I don't know. Do we just bring in another guy to compete with TJ to see who can do that while Sam's gone? Or will Sam be able to play again because he'll clear concussion protocol? As I've been, aware through posts and other things like that, Sam has been looking fine. I mean, he was in the locker room. He's saying he's fine. It's just all precaution. But we'll still see what has to happen because there have been rumors of like a neck or a chest injury. Because, I mean, he got walloped. This game was quite physical. It showed. In other news of rushing, we had Chuba Hubbard have 24 carries for 82 yards and 1 touchdown, giving the ball to Taylor Moton so the big man could spike the ball. Like I said, Sam Darnold with 8 for 66, Amir Abdullah with 8 for 31, Royce Freeman for 6 for 25, and then PJ had 1 run that was -1 yards, but yeah, that's fine. But I just really want to highlight the fact that Amir Abdullah, our pickup recently, has been doing great for us. So with Chuba Hubbard, a combination of Royce Freeman and Amir Abdullah, we've been able to put rushing yards on the field to make sure that we're not just nothing in the running game without McCaffrey. We have a series of backs that do good for us, and we're trying to work with that as McCaffrey is out injured. In the receiving game, there isn't too much to talk about because there wasn't as many receiving yards to be thrown around, touchdown passes, but DJ Moore once again leads what we had with 4 receptions for 59 yards. Amir Abdullah had 3 for 35, a great check down back. Tommy Tremble had 3 for 18. Ian Thomas had 1 for 10. Chuba had 1 for 9. And then we had a bunch of drops by Robbie, but I mean, the Robbie one was more that he just got fucking blown the fuck up. Like, I swear to God, I thought he was dead. Then Keith Kirkwood, Royce Freeman, and then Shai Smith was in the game, and he caught 1 pass for a -2 yards. And now for defensive stats, we saw Shaq Thompson come back and play like a monster. He was playing at an incredibly elite level when he left with an injury, came back wanting more. 8 solo tackles, 2 assisted tackles, and then 1 interception on the day. We had Jeremy Chin for 4 for 1, Jeremy Carter Jr. 3 for 3, Hassan Reddick 3 for 1 and 1 sack, Derek Brown 3 tackles, Etur Gross-Matos getting his first sack, 2 for 1, and then that 1 sack. Keith Taylor, who may have a little bit something special in there, had 2 tackles, Dante had 2. Frankie Louvu had half a sack with Brian Burns, and then Clay Johnson had 1. Morgan Fox had 1 for 1, and then Stephon Gilmore and his Panthers debut delivers with 1 for 1 and also 1 game-winning interception. His interception was pretty much the nail in the coffin, so to speak. We were doing pretty well, and we pretty much just shut down the last hopes that they had. Ravian Roy had 1 for 1, Rashawn Belvin had 1, Kenny Robinson had 1, and AJ Bouye had 1 assisted tackle. All around, very nice game defensively. When it comes to kick returns, the only person who's on the stats for 0 yards returned is Robbie Anderson because he did catch the onside kick, which was probably the most important catch he's ever had this season. And Zane Gonzalez. Boy, am I warming up to Zane. 4 for 4 on field goals, the longest being a 57-yarder. It was just beauty to watch that. I loved it, every moment of it. 4 field goals, and then extra point he had to kick straight through. Very happy with that. And Lachlan Edwards, the punter that we have while Joseph is on IR. 4 punts, 175 yards, 43.8 average, and 1 inside the 20. Can't really complain. Now we're going to head to the Falcons stats. We're going to see Matt Ryan, who had been on a tear, have a little bit of a struggle against the Panthers. That could be very well because of the fact that Calvin Ridley, who has been dealing with personal issues recently, was not a part of this game, and will probably not be a part of many other games in this near future. As he has said, he needs to take a step away from football, so all best wishes to him. Mental health is more important than anything. Doesn't matter if people are going to complain why you need mental health when you're making millions playing a game. Look, they put their entire body on the line for your entertainment. If you have a problem with that, fuck you. But yeah, all well wishes to Calvin. I hope he can figure out whatever he needs to figure out, be a better person for what he needs to be. All I know is that if he knows that he needs to take time away from football, he needs to take time away from football. It's his decision, his life. He knows what's best for himself. Anyway, Matt Ryan didn't do too bad when it came to completion percentage, but I mean, technically he had 22 for 27 instead of 20 for 27 because 2 of those balls went to our team. But he also had 146 yards, 1 touchdown, but then that 2 interceptions, of course, that being Shaq Thompson and Stephon Gilmore. It came to the Falcons running game. Mike Davis had 9 for 44, Cordarrelle Patterson had 9 for 35, and Matt Ryan had 2 for 3. So that's all there was in the ground game. Nothing too much there. But in the receiving game, we had Tajay Sharp have 5 for 58, Cordarrelle Patterson having 5 for 37 and 1 touchdown. Mike Davis had 5 for 22. Kyle Pitts had 2 for 13. Gilmore pretty much locked down Pitts for most of the time. Only had 1 PI called on a coverage for Pitts, but that wasn't too bad. He definitely made up for that with the interception. And then Zacchaeus with 1 for 12. And then Hayden Hurst, who I was more scared of than Pitts, was 2 for 4. And I mean, the Falcons defense didn't do too bad either. I mean, they held us to only 19 points, under 20. Alukun, however the fuck you pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name. Had 10 tackles, 6 assisted, so holy shit. Deion Jones, 10 for 4. Tyler Davison had 6 for 1. Eric Harris, 5 for 2. And he was the one dishing out huge hits. Marlon Davidson had 3 for 1. AJ Terrell had 3 tackles. Grady Jarrett, 2 for 2, and had a lot of pressures. Duron Harmon had 2. Jonathan Bullard had 1 for 3. Mike Pennell had 1 for 2. Mariner had 1 for 1. Fauters had 1 for 1 as well. Copeland had 1 for 1. Stephen Means 1. Jalen Hawkins 1. Richie Grant 1. Avery Williams 1. And then Fabian Morale 1. Came to kick returns, of course, that's Cordarrelle Patterson again. And then punt returns, that's Avery Williams. Nothing too big there. And then Young Ho had a missed field goal, which gave me all the confidence in the world because Young Ho, I don't know, doesn't really miss that many when it comes to it, so that was interesting. And then punting, Dustin Colquitt had some pretty nice punts that actually pinned us back, 2 inside the 20, so nothing, honestly, this was just a physical, hard-fought game, and I was very happy to watch. Going into total team stats, we have 332 yards to their 213, 129 passing yards to their 131, 203 rushing yards to their 82, 4.6 average to their 4.3. We had 21 first downs. They had 17. We were 10 for 17 on third down efficiency. They were only 3 for 10. Fourth down efficiency, we didn't need to do that, and they were 1 for 1, so they got that. Total plays, we had 72 to their 50. Sacks allowed, they allowed 3. We allowed no sacks on the day. We allowed pressure, but no sacks. Punts 4-4, so equal there. Penalties, they were a much cleaner team in that regard, but some of the penalties that we got were stupid as fuck. But and all of them were false starts as well. And it was 8 for 76 yards. They're 3 for 15 on the Falcons. We lost 1 fumble on the first play of the game, I might add. When I saw that, I was thinking, oh fuck, it's going to be one of those days. But they really picked it up. Defense held them only 3 points, even though we gave the ball away right at the beginning of the game. And it was history. Chuba Hubbard picked it up and was carrying the rock most of the game after that. Everything was fine. And interceptions thrown, we threw 0, they threw 2, and then time of possession was dominated by the Panthers, 35 minutes, 23 seconds to their 24-37. Also, I just want to give Matt Ryan a bit of a moment just to talk about how much of a badass he is. I love Matt Ryan. I'm going to be so sad when he retires because Panthers matchups with the Falcons are just not going to be the same. I felt the same way when Drew Brees left. Yeah, I hate the motherfucker because he beat the fuck out of us sometimes, but it's just not the same without him. Saints matchups are just so much more fun when you have that type of opponent quarterback to match up against. So Matt Ryan got his hand stepped on by, I believe, Morgan Fox, and so he was bleeding crazy out of that hand. You can see it on his towel, on his pants, and motherfucker says, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to wait till the drive's over, and just keeps slinging the rock, slinging the rock, slinging the rock. And it's just, even if he threw 2 interceptions on the game, it was still crazy, seeing that on live television and just seeing him not give a fuck and just keep going. I love Matt Ryan. I'm sorry. He's critically underrated for most of his career, and now with the tear he's been going on, only stopping now in this game, I'm sure he'll pick it up again when it comes next week, and I'll be happy to see it, because even if they're a division rival, I just want to see the NFC South not dominated by the Buccaneers only. That'd be fucking fantastic, frankly. I don't want to see the Buccaneers just carry away with the NFC South, so if any team in this division can be competitive and compete for that spot, I'll be happy. Not the fucking Bucs. Not the Bucs. Not again. Anyway, that's all I have. It was a great game. I can't say too much for the future because we're going to have to see if this continues and carries over into next week where we play against the New England Patriots. Hot and cold team. We'll just have to see what opponent we're facing to get there. Let me think in the comments down below. Did you watch the game? Did you enjoy how physical it was? Do you think that we should be having some renewed hope? No matter what you think, I want to know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.